AI won't ask permission before it changes your life. It's already here. It's analyzing your emails, predicting your shopping habits, even diagnosing patients before doctors do. But here's the truth. AI is not the real threat. The real threat is leaders and organizations who refuse to adapt. So today we're answering a critical question. How do you harness AI without losing the human connection that makes leadership so real? And more importantly, what happens to those who don't? And quick heads up, if you stick around till the end, I'm giving away 10 free copies of my audiobook, The Everyday Diplomat, the enhanced edition. I'll share with you how to grab one before we wrap up. Welcome to The Everyday Diplomat. I'm Michael Forrest, a retired Marine Sergeant Major, former U.S. diplomat, and someone who spent the better part of 20 years leading high-performing teams through crisis, conflict, and constant change. From combat zones to innovation labs in Silicon Valley, one thing that I've seen over and over is that technology doesn't replace leadership, it tests it. And now with artificial intelligence reshaping industries faster than most leaders can adapt, the question isn't whether AI will change the way we work. It already has. The real question is, will leaders evolve with it or will they be left behind? When most people hear AI, they picture big headlines, self-driving cars, chatbots writing complete essays, machines that can beat world champions at chess and Go. It all sounds very impressive, almost intimidating, and also futuristic. But for a lot of people, it also feels very far away. Something happening maybe only in Silicon Valley, labs, or unlocked inside futuristic sci-fi movies. The truth? AI isn't just coming. It's already here, and it's been so for a long time. It's not sitting on the sidelines. It's in your pocket. It's on your desk. It's shaping your choices without you ever realizing it. When you scroll through social media, you're not seeing a neutral feed. You're seeing what an algorithm believes that you'll like, or what it wants you to stay angry about. When you shop online, AI predicts your next purchase before you even know that you want it. When your bank flags a suspicious transaction, it's not a human watching over your account in every single expenditure. It's AI running millions of calculations in the background. So yes, the hype is real. AI is incredibly powerful. It's transformative. But here's where we have to pause. Because AI isn't magic. It doesn't think the way that you or I do. It doesn't care, it doesn't lead, and it doesn't inspire. And this is where leaders get it wrong. Too often, they fall into one of two extremes. They either dismiss AI altogether as some passing fad, something that's trendy but not really relevant. Or they panic. They're convinced it's going to replace absolutely everything. Both miss the bigger picture. The real power of AI isn't in replacing humans. It's in amplifying humans and our skills and abilities, just like any tool that we've ever applied. It's about taking the repetitive low-value work off your plate so you and your team can focus on what only people can do: leading, creating, and connecting. And that's the tension that we're going to explore this week. Not the flashy headlines, not the apocalyptic robot takeover fears. The real question is this: how do leaders harness AI to make themselves and their team stronger without losing the human connection that makes leadership real? Because if you get that balance right, AI becomes a force multiplier. And if you get it wrong, it becomes an incredible liability. In a world where algorithms can finish your sentence or predict your next purchase and even diagnose patients, it's easy to forget what machines can't do. AI can't read the room, it can't build trust, and it sure can't repair a broken relationship between a leader and their team. That's why I put together a simple, free guide for you. It's called 10 Things to Never Say as a Leader. Because while AI is busy rewriting the rules of business, the words that you choose still shape trust, influence, and culture. The things only you can lead. Grab it at everydaydiplomat.com. It's completely free, and it'll give you an edge in the one arena no algorithm can replace: human leadership. When people think of AI, they picture Google, Apple, Tesla. But one of the most powerful lessons I ever saw didn't come from any of those. It came from the Marine Corps, working side by side with innovators in Silicon Valley. I was tasked with helping create the first unit-based innovation lab in the Marine Corps. The idea was very simple. Let Marines and sailors closest to the problems partner with tech companies, academics, and entrepreneurs to find answers. One of our most eye-opening projects, it was predictive maintenance for ground equipment. Traditionally, maintenance is either reactive, meaning fix it when it breaks, or preventative. Replace it after a set number of miles or whatever the metric was, whether it needs replacement or not. Both are incredibly expensive, and both are very wasteful. Both can also be dangerous, but by feeding decades of maintenance records into machine learning models, AI learned to predict failures before they ever happened. And we're not talking vaguely. The system was about 98% accurate. That means instead of a vehicle breaking down mid-mission or mid-deployment, leaving Marines vulnerable, AI could flag the issue in advance. Mechanics could swap the parts before the failure ever occurred. No stranded convoys, no surprise breakdowns in combat, no last-minute scramble for parts. That kind of foresight doesn't just save money, it can save lives. But here's the kicker. Even though the tech worked, even though the data was clear, policy said parts could only be replaced after they failed or at the scheduled intervals. So we had a crystal ball, but we weren't allowed to use it. That moment taught me something very important. Technology alone doesn't solve problems. You can have the most advanced AI system in the world, but if leadership and culture aren't ready to adapt, it's simply going to sit on a shelf. That predictive maintenance project was a mirror. It showed me how organizations cling to the way that we've always done it mentality, even when the evidence screams for change. And it's not because leaders don't understand the potential. It's because change is messy. Change threatens comfort. And in big institutions, it's always easier to just say no. Here's the lesson. AI isn't just about technology. It's about leadership. Will you have the courage to challenge old systems and unlock what's possible? Or are you going to let life-saving innovations sit there and collect dust? Here's the thing. In the Marine Corps, we had cutting-edge tools predicting failures with almost perfect accuracy, but even then, it wasn't the algorithms that built trust. It was the leaders who chose how to act on the information. That's the same challenge that leaders face today. You can have the best data, the smartest software, the sharpest AI, but if you don't know how to lead people through it all, it's all going to fall flat. That's why I built the first 30 days. It's designed to help new leaders step in with confidence, build trust fast, and avoid the mistakes that sink credibility early. Think of it as predictive maintenance for leadership. The systems, the habits, the mindset that keep your team running at peak performance. And if you're not ready for a full course yet, start simple. Grab my free guide, 10 Things to Never Say as a Leader. It's quick, it's practical, and it'll make you instantly more effective in any conversation that matters. Both links are waiting for you below in the description. Don't just watch AI reshape the world, learn how to lead in it. AI is a double-edged sword. On one side, it's a tool that can save lives, create opportunities, and solve problems at a scale that humans could never do on their own. On the other side, it's a force that can strip away human connection if leaders don't understand their role in the middle. Let me show you what I mean here. Think about customer service. 10 years ago, if you had an issue with your bank, you spoke to a person. Now, you're funneled into a chatbot maze that might solve your problem faster or leave you screaming at your phone. Either way, you're going to get some pretty awesome hold music, but here's the thing. AI didn't fail. It did exactly what it was programmed to do, by people. What failed was the leadership decisions behind it all. Someone valued efficiency over empathy. And when efficiency wins at the cost of empathy, you lose trust. That's the risk that we're facing across every industry. Hospitals can adopt AI to read scans more accurately than radiologists. Logistics companies can use predictive analytics to shave weeks off of supply chains. Marketing firms can map your every click and predict your next purchase before you know you're even looking to buy it. But if leaders treat AI as the replacement for human connection instead of an enhancement to it, they create systems that might be smart, but not wise. Wisdom still belongs to us people. AI can tell you what is happening. It can even tell you why it's happening, but it can't tell you what that means to the human beings affected by it. That's your job. Let me go ahead and frame it this way. AI is the microscope. It shows you details that you could have never seen with your naked eye, but only the leader decides whether to use that microscope to heal, to grow, or to exploit. And here's the warning. History is full of examples of leaders who misused powerful tools. The tool itself wasn't good or bad. It was always neutral. It was the intent behind it that shaped the outcome. AI is no different here. It's going to make the strong leaders stronger, the ones who use it to serve people, protect values, and amplify what makes us human. They're going to thrive, but the leaders who are lazy, leaders who see people as numbers, AI is going to expose them faster than ever before. Because here's the irony here. The more data that you automate, the more people crave the one thing machines can't give them: authenticity, trust, leadership that feels actually human. So here's the takeaway from this section. AI is not the enemy. Poor leadership is. So the question isn't, will AI replace leaders? The question is, will leaders rise high enough to deserve the seat that AI just made heavier? We're surrounded by algorithms every single day, feeding us ads, curating our feeds, deciding what rises and what disappears. But here's the thing. If you want to make sure that you don't miss what's coming, you've got to beat the algorithm at its own game. So go ahead and take 2 seconds right now, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a quick comment below, because in just a few days, I'm going to be releasing a follow-up on 3 things AI will never replace in leadership. And subscribing is the best way that you make sure that it finds you. All right, let's go ahead and kick off section 3, where things get even more interesting. AI isn't just a tool. For many leaders, it feels like a threat. A threat to control, a threat to status, perhaps even a threat to the way that things have always been done. Ever hear that before? And that fear, it's very real. We're not going to discount that. Some worry that it's going to strip away their influence. If a machine can make decisions faster and more accurately than I can, where does that leave the leader? Others resist because they simply don't understand it. They imagine Hollywood robots taking over their jobs rather than algorithms quietly running in the background, making things more efficient for everybody. And then there's the fear of the unknown. Change is uncomfortable, and when people don't fully understand something, their default response is usually some form of resistance. But here's the truth here. The leaders who fear AI the most are usually the ones who don't understand its value, because AI, when used well, doesn't replace leadership, it enables it. It frees leaders to spend less time buried in tasks and more time doing the uniquely human work of leading other people. Think about it. If AI can analyze hundreds of data points in a second and give you predictive insights, you're not losing control, you're gaining a clearer battlefield picture. If AI can handle repetitive tasks, you're not being replaced, you're being elevated, freed to focus on vision, strategy, and the human connection. Now, let's zoom out to the organizational level. Even when individuals see the potential, bureaucracies often stall. Why? Because systems are designed for stability, not for speed. The larger the organization, the more it clings to its existing processes, even when those procedures are completely outdated. In government, I've seen it firsthand, time and time again. And again, and again. A predictive AI tool could identify engine failures with stunning accuracy, but leadership hesitated. Why? Because the system wasn't built to approve replacing a part before it broke. The rules demanded failure first, then replacement. The results? Wasted money, wasted time, and very frustrated people. That's the danger of resisting something like AI. It's not just about missing opportunities, it's about letting fear and outdated systems hold back progress. And here's the irony. The same leaders who fear that AI might take their jobs are the ones most at risk of becoming irrelevant. Not because AI has replaced them, but because they refuse to adapt. The leaders who thrive in the age of AI aren't the ones fighting to keep things the same. They're the ones who see AI for what it really is. A force multiplier, a tool that extends their reach, sharpens their decisions, and then frees them to do what only humans can do: inspire, guide, and lead other people. So the real question isn't whether AI will take your place. The question is, will you use it to elevate your own leadership? Or are you going to let fear leave you behind? Here's the truth about fear. Most resistance to AI doesn't come from logic. It comes from emotion. Something uniquely human, I think. Fear of the unknown, fear of losing control, fear that the skills that we built won't matter tomorrow. And let's be honest, there's also the fear of being replaced. Will AI take my job? Will it make me irrelevant? Those questions are echoing throughout every industry, but here's the catch. AI isn't replacing leadership, it's amplifying it. Remember, it's a force multiplier. The same way that night vision didn't replace Marines, it just gave us the ability to see further in the dark. And also trip over things because depth perception isn't always great, but that's another story. AI is the same. It's not doing the leading for you. It's giving you the clarity to make better decisions and making them faster. Think about it at the organizational level. AI can analyze millions of points of data in a second, surfacing patterns no human could ever find. It can forecast trends, identify risks, and even flag inefficiencies long before the problems become problems. For a supply chain leader, it can mean knowing where the next bottleneck is going to be. For a doctor, it can mean spotting the first signs of cancer when the human eye would have missed it. That's not replacement, that's simply empowerment. But let's talk about the behavioral side of this. Humans resist change because change feels like a threat. Your brain literally treats it as a danger. So instead of curiosity, we respond with defensiveness. And when leaders get defensive, they stop leading. The irony here is that the leaders who dig their heels in, the ones who protect the old way, the old guard, they're the very ones who put their people at the most risk. Because while they're resisting, others are adapting. Others are finding ways to integrate AI to lighten the load, streamline the process, and then free up time for what matters the most. That's where leadership comes in. Not just to adopt AI, but to translate it into trust, to help people see that this isn't about stripping away human value. It's about giving us more space to be human. Think about the glass balls and the rubber balls analogy. Glass balls are the things that you can't drop. Trust, integrity, relationships. Rubber balls are the things that you can let bounce for a while. Emails, admin tasks, the little fires that pop up every single day. AI gives you breathing room. It helps protect the glass balls because it can catch and bounce the rubber balls for you for longer than you could on your own. And at the end of the day, AI doesn't change what matters. It just changes how we protect it. So if I had to wrap it up, here's the bottom line. AI is definitely not the enemy. It's the tool that will separate the leaders who thrive from the leaders who slowly fade away. The world doesn't need leaders who fight against the future. It needs leaders who can stand in front of their people and then say, we're going to use this and we're going to use it wisely, not to replace you, but to make us stronger together. That's the type of leadership that AI just cannot touch. That's the human connection that no algorithm can yet replicate. And the question is, when the world changes around you, will you adapt or are you going to resist and get left behind? Because one thing is for sure, AI will not ask permission before it changes your world. Thanks for being here today. I truly appreciate you taking your time to join us. If this video gave you something to think about, do me a favor and please hit that like and subscribe button and share it with somebody who could also use it. And if you've stuck with me this far, here's a little bonus. I'm giving away 10 free copies of the audiobook version of my book, The Everyday Diplomat. To enter, make sure that you're subscribed to this YouTube channel and to my newsletter, The Diplomat's Dispatch. You'll find the newsletter link in the description below, and the full details will be inside the September 1st email. I'm Michael Forrest, and this is The Everyday Diplomat. Remember, every business is a people business, and I'll see you in the next one.